Three. Well, welcome to the Nobleshire for Progressive Discussion here at Progressive Rock Central. Carl Vestholm. And Carl is the band leader. He's a musician who plays electric piano, organ, synthesizers, bass, theremin, which is really cool, and vocoder. He's also in charge of production and sings background vocals for the Stockholm Swedish progressive rock band Bakelit. And they have a fantastic album. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to discuss your latest album, No Fear of Drowning, with us. It was released on the Swedish label Phosphor. I hope I said that right.
Yes.
Phosphor Creation, I should say, on September 26th of this year, and it is a fantastic album. If you haven't heard it, please get out there, give it a try. It is excellent. So go ahead and you can say hi and go from there.
Hi, thank you very much for that introduction. I'm really glad you like the music, of course. Um, and I'm quite happy with the result as well, honestly. I have recorded a lot of albums over the years, and I've been in groups recording albums where I've mostly just been the keyboard player or nothing more, or like co-founder like Carp Tree that I had with my good friend Niklas. I think we released 6 or 7 albums,
Wow.
and I have had own and this is actually um, it's hard to tell, but it's not a solo album, but okay, I write music, I get some help from the others once in a while, and I tried from the beginning to do solo album, not to call it a solo album because I do not have the need for expose my own name or anything like that. But I wanted to do something without, um, you know, playing with other people can be a blessing, and it can also be quite tiresome. Some of the and don't misunderstand me because I
No,
love,
no.
but it's some processes takes very long time.
Yeah.
We have another band called Hollingshead with 2 other guys, 3 other guys. We That's more like a live, not live act, but we record everything. It's not drum machines, synthesizers, and stuff like that. But I think it took us 4 years
Wow.
between the because suddenly the bass player is up touring, the drummer is gone, and the singer left. We have to find a new singer and everything like that. With Bakelit, it was I've actually collected songs for I think it's like 10 years or so. And I've
Wow.
always had a plan to, I will do this as a solo album. I will even try to sing some leads. You will not be happy to hear those, but but then for the first album, I just listened through a lot of songs I had, and then I understood these songs will be perfect for a band. Quite loose band, not like we have to rehearse every week. We didn't do anything like that, but I send the versions to the others without acoustic drums, yeah, with my lead vocals and vocoders and stuff, but and they could do their own interpretation. So that
Excellent.
album, the first album, Asleep or Insane, was really easy to do. And actually, the second album was just as easy, perhaps even easier. We needed to change drummer, so that complicated things, but it ended up very well anyhow.
Great. Well, tell me about you kind of did right there, but where did the idea for the name come from, and how long ago did you get together? And then sort of go into the album. And
Yeah.
the people that you do have in the band, uh, how did you meet them? How did you've worked with them in other ways?
They are all good friends, actually. And
Oh,
Bakelit, that's the way we pronounce it in Swedish. That's actually the plastic called Bakelite, I think, in English, does it?
oh
Is it
yeah, yeah. That's what
Bakelite?
when I looked it up, that's what I
Yeah.
directly went to in Google. Yeah,
And it's it's a word I like the sound of Bakelit. It sounds really weird and
no,
odd. And if I would have put an extra E, so it would have been English, then it would have been Bakelite.
yeah,
And there's no cool about that anymore. But this gets some, okay, and it might be stupid, but I like
no,
the sound of the name, and it's Bakelit. And I know Americans or English people cannot pronounce it. They say Bakelit, Bakelit, it's everything, but that's not important because it's Bakelit. And all of the others, the guitar player Ulf, he played on all Carpenter albums, and we met in the late 80s, and
okay.
we went to the same music school, playing together for 2 years, and been really good friends since then. He's the godfather of my kids, and so
Oh
on.
wow, very
And I
close.
think,
Yeah,
well, yeah, and Jonas Kjellsbeck, the drummer that actually came on this album, that wasn't on the previous album, he and I, we started to play together as teenagers, actually. We come from the same small uh, countryside town in Sweden, and we've been playing. He was, we have done albums together, but it was like 15 years ago. But we always been friends, and so now I just called him because we somehow we needed to have a new drummer. Not there was no conflict or anything like that. It was just at
wow.
large.
Yeah,
He's a very good friend of mine. Had some logistical problems, so he just said, "No, I can't do it. You need to find another one." And we are still very good friends. It's no problems. And they're both very good drummers. So Ulf and Jonas, I've known for more than 30 years. Öyvind, the male singer, we met in 1992 or something.
wow.
I was doing a gig in Canary Islands on a hotel. I was playing like cabarets and cover songs, dance music, 6 nights a week with a small.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like a stupid thing you do when you're young. And we needed to have a new
Yeah, but
singer.
you're having
Somebody
fun.
knew him, and he just flew down, and we met in
Yeah,
that under those circumstances. It's quite weird, actually. And Sia, the female singer, yeah, she has been around for. We have been good friends 20 years, I think.
wow.
It's all good, reliable friends. I
People. Yeah,
know, I know how they are quite different persons. They what do you say? They have different ways of interpreting my music, and
mhm.
but I know how to treat them. I know exactly what to do. I can send something to Ulf and tell him we could say some small info, and then I say, yeah, you know what I like. And then he comes to me with his
Yeah,
pedal board, his amplifiers, and his wonderful guitar sound, and just make magic. Jonas came in, the drummer came in really late. So for him, it was just listening intensively for a couple of hours and then do a recording. And I did some editing, but I think it contributed with a slight hint of him being spontaneous because he
yeah.
really didn't know the songs too well. And do I talk too much? I'm sorry.
No,
You
no,
get
you're fine. Keep
so
going.
I'm a, I play organ, I play Fender Rhodes and everything, but I always have one part of me being quite, I wouldn't say digital, but I do like synthesizers. I do like
I love
theremin,
them. Yeah, me
and I
too.
like even some old analog sounding drum machines as well. So actually, the songs that have ended up on the Bakelit albums have been quite digital. I wouldn't say it's not. I don't use software synths or anything. I have,
Yeah.
in this room, you can see a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, here,
Yeah.
hardware drum machines, but it was, um, and that was, I haven't done music in that way for 20 or 30 years. And so it was, and it's not vintage drum machines or machinery, but they might be rather unpredictable when you start. So it's
Sure.
almost like it turns out to be some kind of jam session, actually. And I really don't know
Cool.
what happened of this. And so that's one of my, it's almost like these unpredictable machinery is a part of the band as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, try to play theremin. Theremin is really, really hard.
Oh
You never
yeah.
know what will happen. So I
You're
just
not.
took things together, and then I suddenly that became the music became songs, and then I added the lyrics and vocals. So it has been another way of writing music for me. I haven't started with lyrics and a full song. Earlier, I wrote a lot of music on my piano, lot of music, but this I have just let things happen, and afterwards I correct, and suddenly I have a good chorus and I have a good song suddenly.
All right. Well, you definitely are a King Crimson fan. I can tell by your shirt.
Yeah.
But what were what were some of your other influences that sort of shape the kind of music you make?
I it's yeah, I usually get slightly uncomfortable with naming influences. It's somehow I can get the feeling that a lot of musicians, like in my positions, not major companies or major labels or commercial hits or anything, they seem to um, they can name drop 3 influences, or these are the 6 most important albums for me, and that is the most
Yeah.
important keyboard player. I have no idea actually, and um, it
But
can
just
vary
like
a lot.
from your childhood, what were some of the albums that when you first, I mean, I can remember listening to my first Genesis album,
Oh
and
yes, I
obviously
can.
they're a big fan. I'm a big fan of theirs. But just something like that. What was it
I,
that you
I
heard and said, "Oh my God, this is where I want to go. This is what I want to listen to."
I got a lot of influence, I might say, or some kind of revelation, because my older siblings were not rock and rollers at all. They didn't
No,
listen to music.
classical and
Yeah, I was classic, and I played classical piano. I was really good at that when I was a kid, like 12 years old. I can't remember why, but I was, and I trained a lot. And then I met a friend. I haven't talked to him for 30 years or 35, and we could sneak into his big brother's room and listen to uh, some albums he had. And one of them that I can never forget was Difficult to Cure with Rainbow.
yeah,
In song number 2, Spotlight Kid, Don Airy plays a keyboard solo. And for me, I couldn't understand what I was listening to, because I
yeah,
was, oh, what is this? And I was a piano player, and then I understand, I'm going to play synthesizer. And
yeah,
then I think quite, because that became like magical. And I know that album is not considered to be the best Rainbow album, but I cannot listen to it
yeah,
without just loving it.
yeah. No, you have your own choice.
Yeah, and then we listened to Electric Light Orchestra, the album Time,
Yeah,
that is not as well considered to be one of the best albums, but nevertheless, the sound of it made me understand that this is the feeling I want in music. I like synthesizers actually. And then
me too.
when I grew a bit older and started to play in bands, I had a guy who was a couple of years older than me. He actually he wanted to raise prog rockers. He
Yeah.
did the same with every. He gave me these compilation tapes with
Oh,
Genesis,
wow.
compilation tape with Yes, Kansas, King Crimson, and everything. And since then, um, I remember, of course, because at that time I was a quite skilled piano player, which I am not anymore. But and of course, then Rick Wakeman made a big impression.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and then of
Definitely.
course, and yeah, and the way, and he has always done with his weird approach to music, because he can be far out and be just embarrassing, and then suddenly he can be very, very good. And but he's always very, very close to the edge. He's very
Yeah.
close to the edge of going too far. Uh,
Well, speaking of him, just we all hope that he's okay. He just went through some major surgery, and
oh, I didn't know that.
we all wish the best for Rick Wakeman.
Uh,
Yeah,
yes, of
he's
course.
definitely one of my favorite keyboardists. But yeah.
Yeah.
Now let
Uh,
me ask you this: do you how well is the album doing? How well is No Fear of Drowning? Are you reaching the US, Japan, all over the world? Is it a global people are picking it up, or is it mostly Europe or
I I think it's Europe and United States, and I can say exactly the same. I told my wife and my youngest daughter when we had dinner just recently here. We get good reviews,
good?
very
Good.
good reviews, and we got a very good review in the latest prog magazine and the Swedish. Um, one of the few paper mags that exists in Sweden. We got a good review as well, and publicity, I think, but not many listeners. It's I cannot say no, we don't have many listeners, unfortunately.
Mm,
And I think it's a slightly acquired taste, I think, and uh, it doesn't bother me so much. It would have been nice to have like a couple of thousand listeners every month on Spotify, but um, I think people will remember the album anyway. But
oh, definitely. No, that's good.
we are actually standing in the middle of a stream of new music that comes every
There's
single
so much.
day.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's so much. So I'm happy that somebody, and I can do this with you. I've done a lot of other interviews, and I get some mails, emails from fans. So I'm happy with that. But of course, it would have been nice.
sure.
I think
Ye-
it's really hard to establish a new act these days.
Yeah.
So that's why I will actually try to do a third album within not too much time as well.
Excellent. Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Mm.
Will you tour this album locally or through Europe?
We do not have any rehearsed live act. We were having a release party here in my living room, yes, in
Uh,
September. Uh, and I think all of us are eager to play live, but we don't have any live act, and I don't have any manager or management or anything. So it's really hard to just try to. It's just hard to, especially in Sweden. It's hard to get gigs. Progressive rock is not big in Sweden.
hmm.
Mhm.
And I think you're working with Anne Claire with Bad Dog.
Yes.
Isn't she wonderful?
Oh yeah, she's.
Yeah. And she's helping to get the message out. I hope
Yes,
it
I
looks
think
like
so,
it.
and she has a good way of communicating. So I'm really happy with her actually. Maybe I can ask her if she can help with some live gigs. It
Yeah.
would be really good. But don't forget, we're getting older. Everybody has their more or less full or part-time jobs, and we have families. Uh, Perhaps it might be easier when our kids growing older and so, but it's not really easy. And that was not because we never rehearsed before the album. So that's why we don't have any live act. All of these guys know each other. So we're not strangers to each other at all. But, um, and yeah, so I would really, really love to do live gigs.
Yeah.
There's one more thing that I'd like to comment, and um, we don't, perhaps that's a reason why we don't have many listeners. I can't tell, but we do not have any physical copy of the album.
Oh, it's not out yet. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
and
you're
that's
not going to.
uh, what you say is
Oh, you're not going to? You've chosen not to do a physical copy, or it's still in production?
because I've done physical copies with Carpree, and I've done it with Hollingshead and other bands. I've had some instrumental projects, and it's a lot of hassle with the physical copies. And I have quite a lot unsold vinyls in my basement, actually. And to send them and post them from Sweden to Germany costs a fortune
Yeah.
these days. It's really, um, and it's all this is very, very sad because I love physical copies of music.
Me
I
too. Yeah.
probably one of the only persons in Stockholm still listening to CD. You know, CD.
See, I got them. Yeah.
Yeah, I still have them, and of course, but I may mainly buy vinyls nowadays. But once in a while, I grab a CD as well, and I like listening to it. So this is very sad, but
It
you
is.
know,
Yeah.
you come from uh, like circumstances when things like the last two albums with Carpree, really good albums, and we had Rain Gold Records releasing the CD and the digital versions, and I released the vinyl, and there was always misunderstanding. 50 vinyls ended up at the wrong place and were sent back, and it was really expensive. And then nobody would. It was always this. So I thought, if I with Bakelit, growing older, don't forget,
Yeah.
my plan was to exclude everything that could
Yeah.
give me
Hassles.
what we
Yeah.
say, a bad taste of it. I can't tell. But so I
Yeah.
took away physical copies, not that I don't like it, and I took away this with rehearsing together, and I took away being two or three people doing a mix together because that can take 2 years. And so it's some kind of dictatorship, of course, but everybody
Mm.
they know what do you say, the premises. Is that you say? They know
Yeah.
yeah.
Speaking of dictatorships, yeah, we have we have one over here, and it's complicating things for American.
Okay, you Donald Trump, perhaps. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it all these tariffs are just driving bands crazy. They can't get anything over here under
Yeah.
at least $50, and that that's a lot of money,
Yeah.
for people, the average person, um, just to hear a CD or an album, and it's a shame. It really is a shame because
Mm.
you probably could. A lot of these European and foreign bands could reach an audience in the United States in the past without these tariffs. And now, it's so frustrating. You've put all that effort into coming out with this album. You're ready to go. You want to send out the vinyl or the CD. And then in comes, this guy who decides now you're going to be paying, your people are going to be paying $50 instead of maybe 25 or, half that. And it just wrecks your whole marketing plan, your whole distribution plan. It's sad. It really is. It's a shame.
Yeah. That's it. So, um, but that was, yeah, I really understand. And honestly, I keep dreaming that perhaps a label calls me, "Oh, Carl, can we perhaps release your albums on a vinyl?" And I would, of course, really would like to do that.
You'd like
Uh,
to, yeah.
but I don't have the for now because I have other. I'm still. I had a short period of time when I acted more as a record label guy than a musician
Yeah.
because I don't like to go and do all this hassle. So that's why it became as it is. And perhaps we would have gained more listeners with a vinyl or a CD. I can't tell. Nobody can tell.
Yeah. Yeah.
But definitely in Sweden, CD is dead.
That's a
My
shame.
friends don't even have a CD player, I think.
Wow. That's a
Yeah.
shame.
Yeah, that's a shame.
All right, we'll take a break from the music for just a second. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about all the songs on your album. But what are some of your favorite hobbies, or what do you do when you're not making music? You're working full time as well?
I work part-time, but I work a lot. And so and I have what do you say, I have a good job. So music for the last 15 or 20 years have never been about making money,
Yeah.
actually. So that's not a problem. I have a good job, and I don't have a dream to quit my day job or anything. But I have a good job, and uh, apart from that, I'm actually now. This will sound weird.
No.
I am writing music because I have a YouTube channel
Oh.
where I post underwater videos from Lake Tanganyika in Africa.
Oh, wow. That would be nice. Yeah, I'd
Yeah,
like.
that's weird. I was in Lake Tanganyika like 1.5 years ago as well, and after that I could release 6 short videos. It's a YouTube channel called Lake Tanganyika according to Carl,
Where is the
and
lake?
it's in Africa.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
of Africa with tropical fishes, and so so that's what I do on some of my spare time. I like to edit videos because I think that's quite fun. And so I edit underwater footage.
Well,
And
that'd
that's
be
one more
beautiful.
thing because for this album, I think we released 8 or 9 short videos, like 30 or 40 seconds. I didn't do any full song because I know full songs people doesn't listen to it, and the shorts they're quite fun to you do a quick cut of the song and then you take short clips from the guys in the band, and it's quite easy going to edit
Great.
and
Yeah.
yeah. But when you're setting like the first single almost 8 minutes long and produce a video from that will take weeks, I think.
All right. And in Stockholm, what are some of if somebody was going to Stockholm to visit, what would you say are your favorite places to go in Stockholm? And it could be anything, museums, food, natural environments, whatever you want to say.
That was a hard question actually because I have some kind of uh, uh, I have a complicated relation to Stockholm. I love Stockholm as it's the biggest city in Sweden, and I grew up on the countryside. So when I finally came to Stockholm, I loved it, of course. But I do not really appreciate the climate here and the weather because now in November it's just too dark and cold.
Yeah.
So I like from November to April, I don't go out much. I
Yeah.
go to
Yeah.
pubs and bars and restaurants,
Sure.
vinyls
You got to
and
get groceries. Yeah.
yeah. But actually, Stockholm is it's a lovely town. It is. I shouldn't say anything except from that.
All right. Well, let's talk about No Fear of Drowning. It's a dramatic album with lyrics that explore the darker aspects of the human psyche, yet These are the very qualities that can make us stronger and more determined to do good. That's what your press release said. Tell us
Yeah,
about the theme and the idea behind the album, and then we'll go track by track. We'll talk about it.
I it was not meant to be a rock opera or anything like that, but somehow it was the first album where I invested quite a lot of energy in the lyrics, and um, I liked it as well. I appreciated doing that. They are not obvious in any way, and
Hmm.
there are no perfectly correct interpretation of them as well. And I read a lot of quite entertaining uh, reviews explaining what the lyrics are about. It could be fear of death or what, yeah, whatever. And I appreciate people like they share their. Um, just saying hi to my wife. Hi
That's
då.
okay.
So I appreciate that,
Yeah.
but I never. It's not meant to be uh, a mystery or puzzle to be solved, actually. But like it's. I mean, the darker aspects. It might be. It's not. Sometimes it can. I understand it can sound almost like, what do you say, occult. Occult, do you must say that in English? But it's not. It's not
Yeah.
about demons or Satan or anything. But that's like from the underground might be about. We have parts of our psyche that we are not, perhaps not proud of, and we have. Um, and sometimes you can face a challenge, and then you need someone to come up from the darker, from the underground of your psyche to straighten things out and perhaps uh, sharpening the knives symbolically, if you understand. I
Yeah.
use a lot of dramatic metaphors or expressions like war, death, drowning. What is it? Yeah, all through the album, a lot of things like that. But still, those are metaphors for the processes within ourselves, I think.
All right, let's talk about the first song, From the Underground. And your vocalist sounds a lot like Peter Gabriel, and not exactly, but similar. And then
Okay.
the female vocalist actually sounds a little bit like Kate Bush, which was a nice mix to hear both of those
Okay.
sort of sounds. Tell us about that song and the meaning behind it, if you want to, and what it was like putting that together.
It's that is one of the songs that actually started out as a drum machine jam session. That sounds really weird. I
Oh,
understand that, but it did. Um, and then I was sitting in my very old mother's house in the summertime and started to play on these small keyboards, some chords and everything. And the song evolved. And I can't say how it started. And I understand that it contains the chorus, the female chorus.
yeah,
It's a lot of quite complicated words, I might say.
very.
And I can't really, it's not intentional because, first of all, I'm Swedish. English is far from my native language.
Yeah,
And it
you
might
speak
be a bit,
well.
yeah, thanks. It might be a bit risky to use that kind of vocabulary, but I can't, it just ended up like that. And then I wrote, because I commute a couple of days in the wintertime, I commute on train a couple of days a week, and then I get some focus time to write.
Yeah.
And then I wrote this down, and I said to myself, I will manage to get all the words in that chorus. So that's it's quite submerged deep down among us. It's a lot of, what do you say? It's a lot of words.
Now, was the
I
theme, because you mentioned that these people are coming from underground. I remember when I was a kid, Logan's Run and things like that, sci-fi movies. Is it that kind of thing where people are living underground at this point and or no, not even close?
no, it's actually not that. It's still it's older versions of yourself,
Oh,
uh,
okay.
buried down in the underground
Oh, okay.
with friends, and well, I can't even remember the lyrics now. Eaten by com. What would you say? Eaten by composition? No, eaten by, yeah, like what do you know when I take old food rest, you make what is the when you make fertilizer? What is English word for it?
Um,
Decomposition, at least.
Decomposition. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, eaten by decomposition. That's the right word. And
So breaking down your make
yeah,
what you're made of. And
but suddenly, sometimes you really need that part of you to help you someday.
okay.
And you somehow resurrect it, not like a demon or anything. It's like an older self, perhaps.
Okay.
And
We draw on our older self all the time. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Our
uh,
history, our knowledge. Yeah.
and sometimes you can, because I understand that it sounds very dramatic, that song, but actually I think it's a happy song, because they are
Okay.
crawling up from the underground, they relieve us, they help us, they save us. And so somehow uh, it's not a sad song. It sounds dramatic, but it's actually a happy song. Weird to think about right now, actually. But
Well, yeah, but it can be if you think about the good side of it, like you said.
yeah.
All right. And
And
then,
actually, okay, one of the vocal lines were written by Öyvind, the male vocalist, the one that starts in the beginning and comes back in the end. And he phoned me and said, "I have a thing I want to record, so please save something."
yeah.
So I let him do it, and that turned out very good. It's
All right.
yeah,
And then Moment of Peace. Your keyboards are all over. It's beautiful, beautiful opening. And
yeah.
you really take a deep dive into your imagination and talk a little bit about this one. It's a great, I mean, they're all great songs, but this is really a good follow up to the opener.
Yeah, it's this is also a remnant. It used to be an older song, and
Hmm.
that song did actually was instrumental, and then came this part that now is the bridge, where actually I sing the lead. This is just a moment of peace, short, brief moment of peace, and that can also be. Uh, uh, it might uh, correlate to one of the other songs as well, because and that's also has to do with me, because actually I have a problem with resting. I never do.
Mm,
My wife has grown used to it, but I never do anything slow. I never do anything. So I can sometimes I can, like, for an afternoon or anything, just sit in my sofa listening to radio or listening to music without doing anything. But that is quite seldom.
rare.
Unfortunately, you might say, but I like, and that's why I do so much, because I get some kind of satisfaction by finishing stuff.
All right,
So
then
once
you've
in a
got the
while, yeah, it can be then. It might be when I like traveling, where I have a long transfer on an airport, and then I suddenly sit down and I have nothing more than a book, and a glass of wine, and then I can sit for 3 hours. But that's rare in my life, actually.
Yeah. You're always busy. Yeah.
So that's why, and run for your life and all this. It's like um, uh, I used to make a joke with my wife because she says so. She used to tease me about this. So if you don't do anything for a weekend, you think you will probably die. And she's yeah, it's a perversion actually that I always do so much. And then when I um, in the end of I think you have a nice finishing line there. Could this be anything but death?
Mm,
Uh,
okay. That's
yeah,
it.
and because it's so rare. So as my wife say, if I suddenly rest for a whole week or for a weekend,
Something's
she
wrong. Yeah.
imagines that then I die. Could this be anything but death? I
Yeah.
can't remember the words now, but it's in the ending. Actually, the point of it.
Yeah. It says, of course I'm dead, nothing but dead. Of course I'm dead.
It's
Yeah.
of course, I'm dead. Yeah, nothing but. Yeah, you're right. Um,
All right. Let's look at the next song, "We Still Hate You," which is quite a change from "Calm." So go ahead and
yeah, and that's actually it's. You might say I tweaked that song a bit. You understand because it's really
yeah,
an obnoxious title and quite.
yeah,
You might say, and that is once again uh, the the person we hate is not another person. It's still the part of me that I'm have a quite
don't like. Yeah, you want to get rid of.
yeah, or a dualistic relationship to. And then it turned out that I came up with this the core if we still hate you, and then it's um, yeah, it would you say it's a punchline, you might say.
All right.
And
And
you have the in what do you say the other part. In the end, we shall always hate each other for good or for bad. Well, and that's perhaps all, like two parts of me. And I know I have ways to act in some situations that people around me doesn't like on my job or that doesn't always appreciate. I
yeah,
understand that, but sometimes you need to have this fight between different sides of you. So, but it sounds more dramatic than it actually is.
and then towards the end, you go into like it sounds not exactly, I'm not saying you're copying, but it sounds a little bit like Pink Floyd's Eclipse, that everything you do, and it's really great. I liked it. Was that an influence from Dark Side of the Moon, or no? You weren't even thinking about that. Sort of that
No, I know I
all
wouldn't think
that you
that's
do and all that. Do you know the
ah
part that I'm talking about?
yeah, I know, yeah, of
Yeah,
course. It's in the B side of it's the last song, isn't it?
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very good song, and that's an album that I've been listening to a lot. And no, I can't say that it's intentional,
Okay.
but you
No,
might have.
like you say, I'm not saying it's a copy, but it. Go ahead.
I never thought about it, but you might be
Oh,
right,
okay.
of course. And I think we always I copy myself, and we copy things we hear. I think that's a part of.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's such a seminal album. I mean, everyone was influenced by it in some way, even if you say, no, I never listened to it. You've heard it.
Yeah,
So,
everybody has ever heard it. Yeah, you're right.
yeah.
Mm.
Do you want to? Okay. And then weak, immature, and aggressive also sounds a little Uh, well, you tell us what it's about.
That's weak, immature, aggressive. That's actually, it's not only about me, but I was, um, it's actually, um, yeah, I have to find a way of, it's nothing to explain actually, but there I came with that weak, immature, aggressive. That was the first thing I started with. And then I had the long outro with never listen to your heart and this nothing but, I can't remember. Never mind. But like before,
Everywhere is crowded. There are sentient
yeah, that's,
beings all around us,
uh,
misunderstood, unclear intentions.
yeah, it was like from my earlier life before I met my wife. I was a bachelor, and we were a lot of bachelors, of course, in Stockholm, hanging out. And as the year passed, you can grow a bit cynic.
Yeah,
And perhaps if you're looking for a family or a wife or anything, you can grow bitter. So it's
yeah.
slightly about what could happen with some of my friends and perhaps me. Um, I wouldn't admit that now, but perhaps.
Yeah.
So,
None of us want to admit
and
those things.
you actually grow older. You're supposed to mature,
Yeah,
but instead you grow weak and you get easy irritated and slightly. It's uh, it's like 15 years before you become a grumpy old man. Old
and
man.
hopefully we won't. Yeah,
Uh,
Ho- hopefully
but
we won't.
yeah, I hope so. Yeah. So, but that's actually for some of my good friends. And I thought, actually, I can't remember how I expressed it back then, but they became weak and they was immature and slightly aggressive, I think.
All right.
But actually, the only thing they wanted was to find peace in life, a good way of life, proper job, and wife, kids, and everything. Yeah, but that becomes or became quite a good punchline as well, I think.
All right. Um, yeah, I just noticed you got a fish tank in Becky. That's wonderful.
Yeah,
I don't know how I
I'm a,
missed it,
I'm
but
a fish nerd.
no, you talked about that lake and all that. Yeah.
I
Um,
have I have more of those.
I
Uh,
bet.
yeah.
And then, all right, so the title track is No Fear of Drowning. I don't think you have a fear if you're
No.
diving deep into lakes and
Yeah.
fish and all that. But
Mm.
tell us the idea behind that. And obviously, it's a title of the album, but
Yes.
the whole album, yeah. Go
In the
ahead.
chorus, I think. Da, 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 da,
I'm
uh,
skating on the biggest frozen ocean, no
yeah,
shore
but
in sight.
the chorus, when Øyvind
Oh,
starts singing, it's
when I'm surrounded, I'm free.
yes, when I'm surrounded, I'm free. When it's like the way I described myself earlier, and that will return one more time on the album because I'm somehow I can like getting into a lot of work.
Yeah,
And when I have almost impossible challenges that I manage to solve, I can get really happy.
yeah,
And it's almost like I tempt myself to
yeah,
end up in situations where I get surrounded and where I can get no help. And that suddenly, when I notice I can do this on my own, then I feel free. And
yeah,
all the skating on deep ice is my way of uh, challenge the security and everything of life, I think. Does it sound weird when I talk about the lyrics? Because I understand.
no, no, no.
And I haven't actually read them for half a year. So that's why I can't really name them. I know what they're about and I know what they
Sure.
mean to me. And actually, I think it's the first album when lyrics really mean a lot to me. It hasn't done before, and
Yeah.
I'm quite old to start writing lyrics, you could say.
Yeah.
So
All right.
that's I like that song very much.
Yeah, definitely. It's a almost perfect way to end the album, but you do have one more to go. And I love this, especially the anti-war nature of it, or at
Yeah,
least that's the way I looked at it. Bombs in my head. And go ahead and talk about that one. It
yep.
a lot
And
of
that is,
emotion. Yeah.
yeah, it's emotion, but as I told you, because I will once again return to that it's not actually, I understand that it sounds like an anti-war story, but actually it is sometimes, it has, when I've had this moment of peace, I can have a moment of peace when I finish an album, uh,
Yeah.
a week perhaps, or 2 weeks, and then uh, when I search for this challenge. And as I told the others in the band, that when I start, everyone can participate because I usually send out sketches of the songs, but I tell them, if you want to change anything, you need to email me back within 48 hours. Before then, I'm going on. It's like,
Yeah.
uh, and this is a very dramatic metaphor, but I understand that, and it might sound over overly dramatic, but actually it is when I start with something and I think I will finish this. It's like I summon my army, and it gets like I get invincible in my own thought,
Yeah.
and then I go in. My friends they know this, and that's why Irvin called me. Carl, please give me a chance to sing this
Yeah.
and everything. So it's actually not anti-war.
Oh,
But I use the metaphor because when I started with the metaphor, uh, then I understood that I could use it very, very much with the sirens, bombs in the
yeah.
in distance and everything. And you might say that perhaps my wife could understand it because she knows how I am. That suddenly I would sit, play piano for 9 hours, and then I would be in my studio. Yeah, very much. But it's an end to it because I finish everything.
Yeah.
So
It's a fantastic album. No Fear of Drowning. Please get out there and listen to it. But now let's talk. You mentioned that you are working on a new album. Do you want to talk about when it's going to be released, title, synopsis, or concept?
um, no, I think that's too early. But when we had the release party, I almost, please not almost,
Very
because I think
important.
because this both albums has been really easy, and it has been nothing, no arguments, no conflicts. Everything has
That's
been
good.
smooth. It's very very nice, and so when that album was finished, um, I realized I still have songs that I could convert from my like synthesizer solo things to this project.
Yeah,
I can't. I would really. I think in these days, if you manage to release one album a year, I think
it's pretty
because
good. Yeah. Oh,
release
yeah.
one album, and if you wait 4 years, it's dead. Nobody remembers it. So
Yeah.
that's why I think we got a bit more response for that second album, and perhaps we could get some even more response from a third. I
Yeah.
can't tell, perhaps. So I hope so. I do not have a title, and no synopsis or anything, but I have a lot of songs,
Okay.
and yeah, they will be in the same vein, I think.
All right. And the same band staying together. It sounded
I
like
hope
you're
so.
pretty. Okay. It
Yeah, I
sounds like
think
you're all friends and you all get along real well. And Shouldn't be any conflicts or anything. The only problem, like you said, is schedules and making sure everyone can be there for the recordings and
Yeah,
things like that.
but you know, like especially all of these are even of I don't yeah, it's actually no one of them that works full time as a musician, but they are magicians.
Yeah,
Even the lead,
in one way or another. Yeah,
yeah, the male lead
doing.
singer, we
Yeah,
met 2 times to record this album, and I
wow,
think Sia came here like 4 evenings to record everything. Ulf and I met like 3 or 4 times as well. So it's really, yeah, they really know what they're doing.
excellent.
Yeah,
Well, let me ask you this: is there anything else we've missed, or maybe I didn't ask you that you'd like to discuss or talk about?
not that I think of right now.
Okay.
We're really
Well,
glad to get
we'll
it.
definitely do this again when the new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hope I will have a new album released within 2026. I
Oh,
can't
good.
because now I have my underwater videos to record to as well. But I will do my best, actually.
When are you heading back down there?
To Africa, I can't tell actually. You have a climate change even affecting Great Lakes like Lake Tanganyika. So the visibility in the water is not as good as it used to.
Hmm,
So,
shame.
and yeah, it's a shame. So I can't tell. I need to see what happens with the lake first.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you wanted to add? I try to
Not,
be as comprehensive as possible, but
yeah, I understand. I
sometimes
really appreciate it.
sometimes you miss things.
Yeah, um, not that I think of now, actually.
All
But thanks
right.
for asking. Mm.
Well, I hope you had a good time. I did. I learned a lot about your album and appreciate you very much, Carl Westholm, taking time to talk about the new album, No Fear of Drowning, um, Backlit, right?
Bakelit. Bakelit.
Backlit. That's right.
Yeah, you can
Backlit.
tell it because it's the word doesn't exist in English. So you get the right to pronounce it just the way you like.
But
In
yeah,
Swedish, you
definitely
say in Swedish it sounds bakelit.
Backlit. All right.
Mm.
But please get out there, give it a chance. I think you'll really enjoy it. There's a lot of new sounding and very dynamic music involved in. If you love keyboards like I do, this is a great album for you. Definitely. Well,
Thank you very much.
thank you very much. I can't see my hand. Hopefully, I'm saying goodbye. But
Yeah,
thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording and you and I can talk for a minute. But
yeah.
thank you very much, Carl Westholm, for all your time and your effort and this wonderful album. And keep doing what you're doing. It's wonderful.
Thank you very much.
All right, hold on just a second.